everyone.
What's up?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm doing all right. It's really hot, actually, where we are.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Yeah, we've had a nice cool spell today, by which I mean it's merely hot instead of sweltering. But, we're making do. This month, our patrons asked us to play a game from the developers at Woodsy Studio. And we looked through a selection and we're like, oh yeah, there's some cool stuff here. And one of them was just this one, Crimson Spires, was described as an Otome game, featuring like a small town setting with like vampires and vampires.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, vampires were the selling point on that one.
Yep.
And we're like, we haven't played a legitimate Otome game on this channel since Hatoful Boyfriend?
Or a vampire game.
We've like somehow avoided vampires as a genre, which feels weird.
It makes sense. Draculas are pretty scary. If I saw one, I would get scared.
I suppose I can't argue with that. So we thought we would give a playthrough of this game right here. And perplexingly, I've had to tell them that I want to invert my Y controls.
What?
For what is presumably a visual novel. So
interesting.
Yeah, and I've also noticed the 3D rendered backgrounds now, so I'm wondering, like, is there a navigation component to this game? Let's find out.
Maybe so.
Good out. Oh! Okay, that screen tradition is dope, actually. Excellent.
Love a good loading screen.
I mean, it's the price of admission with video games. You just kind of deal with it. It doesn't really bother me. I'm trying to think of the last time I was like truly bothered by a load time. Maybe like, I have come to believe that the whole world is an enigma. A harmless enigma that is made terrible by our own mad attempt to interpret it as though it had an underlying truth.
All right, I'm on board.
Okay, starting with the Foucault's pendulum references. All right, I'm here.
Thank you, Umberto Eco.
Calling the world a harmless enigma.
I do love that the first loading screen was just for the Umberto Eco quote.
I mean, to be fair, we're playing this on Switch, so it's my own damn fault. I could have easily have bought it on Steam, right?
No, they needed to give us time to prepare for that quote and to cool down afterward. That was some knowledge.
Okay, I haven't read Foucault's Pendulum despite like feeling like I need to.
Neither have I. I've only read The Name of the Rose, and I think that I only read 3/4 of it and then lost my copy.
I mean, that's fair.
It was cool.
Oh shit! On a brisk autumn evening, the drive from Cape Girardeau to St. Louis feels like my reward for a job well done. The air is sharp and crisp. Colors dance before my eyes from the shifting sunset. It all seems so perfect and peaceful. Until... Oh, shit. This is Special Agent Wright. I'm currently driving on the interstate, so please call back unless this is urgent.
Erica, thank God.
Chief Morris? I can give you a full report of the trial tomorrow morning. Right now, as I said, I'm...
Yes, I know how you feel about vehicle safety, but this is urgent. Where are you right now?
I'm on my way to St. Louis. I can't give you an exact location right now, but I passed Perryville approximately 10 minutes ago. My speed is...
Close enough. A prisoner transport van crashed near your location. A team is on the way, but you're a lot closer.
Oh, shit. Okay. I understand. Who is the prisoner in transport?
August Flynn.
My hand tightens on the steering wheel and the car swerves slightly. Do you mean the serial killer? The Heartbreaker?
That's the one.
Shit.
Let the record show that on this day, the 10th of September, I got Erica Wright to curse.
This isn't the time for jokes, Morris. What's the van's location? Odds on us getting to romance.
Yeah.
Listen, I learned enough about true crime podcast culture to know how this goes. Morris's info sends me even deeper into the woods of rural Missouri, down winding roads past the miles of farmland to a small town called Bataille. Bataille? Bataille. As I approach the town... What the? I swerved to the shoulder barely in time to keep from hitting some sort of large creature. It was too big to be a deer. Could it have been a bear? My heart is racing. I struggle to catch my breath. If I had reacted just a second later, both the animal and I might be dead. In any case, I managed to avoid a crash, and time is of the essence, so I resumed driving.
We saw a Bigfoot.
Oh, yes!
Are we gonna romance a Bigfoot?
Finally, the first confirmed big green sighting. Wait, what's the local variant of Champ the Lake monster in around this area?
I don't know.
That's one of the.
It's gotta have like a French or a Creole name.
Yeah.
But it's still gotta have that lake monster vibe.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like
exactly.
I know enough to like pick a good one.
I know that's one of those ones where like you go anywhere in the States and like they're gonna have their local variant of it.
Yeah, everybody's got lake
Yeah,
monster.
up here where we're at in New England, ours is called Champ. It's great. The lake monster. I don't get much further before I see it. A crunched van leans face first against the side of the road. Metal and glass debris cover the ground in all directions. What could have caused a crash like this? The van shouldn't have been driving very fast. Why was the transport van in Bataille in the first place? It's all so strange, and I suddenly wish I'd kept Morris on the phone to ask more questions. But I don't have time for such curiosity now. Lives are at stake. Yo! All right, we're in it.
Okay, we're going the other way. Historic Bandit Saloon, Ozark Village.
Open 9 to 5. Okay, so I feel good that they gave me the option to invert my Y. There's still more to investigate here. I shouldn't leave Bataille yet. Okay, so they won't let me. That's fair. City limit, Bataille. Population 729. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's been a while since I've had any, like... Oh. Nuts. That's not good at all.
Do you think they're okay?
I see that the doors of the van are wrenched open. Spatters of blood gleam in the smashed interior. Below the open door, the body of a federal marshal lies limp. I see several dead bodies around the van. It's probable they died from injuries in the crash, but one of them... I lean down to examine his injuries. His neck is red and scraped. It seems he was strangled to death. August Flynn did this. My hand goes to my gun. I straighten back up and I scan the area. I see a small splash of blood several yards away. Perhaps August, or another survivor, fled the crash while wounded. A blinding flash of lightning splits the sky. Thunder shakes the earth right after, punching my eardrums. I see the silhouette of a large mansion on a hill in the distance. No time for sightseeing. A dangerous killer is on the loose. Perfect. A dangerous killer is on the loose, and that... Oh, right, I got control back. And that is the perfect time for love. Again, according to every single true crime podcast I've ever listened to.
Yeah, absolutely. All helpful blood trail.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of getting I'm kind of getting the vibe of this game now. So the narrative sections are all done in like VN form, but like there's an open world adventure kind of aspect to it.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like exactly the same thing you would do in an Ace Attorney game, but instead of menus, you just walk around and look at stuff, right?
Mm. So it's like the Ace Attorney games in which instead of menus, you walk around and look at stuff.
You move around by menus in that game. That is not...
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
How did you not know that? We've played like at least like full games in that series.
No, I thought that the new ones had like environments that you could go around.
Oh, the new ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played the new ones.
You have, haven't you? Isn't Great Ace Attorney?
Oh yeah, Great Ace Attorney. Let's see. Steve's
Was
Liquor.
it like that, or am I misremembering?
No, that one is also the same.
Okay.
Yeah, you just...
Never mind.
Steve's Liquor. Payday loans. And lotto. You know what? Actually, this checks out. This is exactly what I would expect. I don't know about you, but up here we definitely, in the more rural parts of the state, we definitely have like side of the road.
Yep.
General store. Yeah. The trail is sparse, but I follow the specks of blood to a small liquor shop. I rap on the door with the fastest flurry of knocks I can muster. Ow. FBI, please answer the door. This is Special Agent Erica Wright with the F... The door wrenches open. On the other side stands a gruff, disheveled man in his 50s. I flash my badge at him.
FBI, what the hell are you doing here?
Sir, were you aware of the crash just down the road?
What crash? I guess I heard something. Thought it was thunder.
Sir, has anyone suspicious or unfamiliar come to your shop within the last 15 minutes?
Just some FBI agent banging on the door after hours.
Swallow my frustration and conclude that this man will be of no help to me whatsoever. A dangerous criminal is in the area. Please remain indoors and alert authorities if you encounter a Caucasian male in his 30s with blonde hair.
And a criminal I meet can say hello to the Remington 12 gauge I keep at the desk. Thanks for your concern, officer, but I'll be just fine on my own.
He shuts the door in my face. The sky grumbles. I look up. A heavy wave of rain rushes to the earth.
Some heavy rain, yeah?
They had to make sure, the writing staff had to make sure to just swerve around that landmine real quick.
Sean!
Shut up. The blood was hard enough to see in the dark, and now it's hopeless. Clearly, August was headed away from the town. I doubt he'd go into the woods during a storm, so all I can do is head down the highway. Just as I'm about to leave the liquor store, though.
Agent Wright, you're here. Thank God.
A familiar man emerges from behind the store. I recognize him as Bradley Jones, a federal marshal I've worked with on a few cases. You've got, some on your, all over your, okay.
Yeah, well, you know how it is.
Yeah, okay.
Tuesdays, am I right?
Why is it always on Tuesday? Is it like a Buffy thing? He was likely one of the officers transporting August, and the only one to survive the crash. It's good to see you, Jones. Catch me up on what's going on here.
We pulled up at a gas station just outside of Bataille. Just as we were pulling out, something, I think a bear, appeared next to the van.
A bear?
I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but something was definitely there. Finley, the driver, he started to have a panic attack. He thought it was chasing us.
Bears don't usually chase cars.
We tried to get him to calm down, but he wouldn't stop speeding. I offered to drive, but he refused to stop. Someone grabbed the wheel. It might have been me. Then everything went black. I woke up. Finley, Miller, Gant, they were all dead. I guess I was the lucky one.
And August Flynn?
Gone. I think he killed Gant and escaped. I don't know why he spared me. Maybe he thought I was dead.
Cool. Unrelated story. Can I see your neck and just like your top of your shoulders there? I think those are the general area. Just real quick.
What a weird request.
Right. It makes perfect sense. Don't worry about it. I read the game blurb before I got here, so we have to find him.
I thought he might be hiding behind this store. He definitely didn't head into town, and there's nothing that way for miles.
Well, that's where the blood trail led, is like right up to the door, but more agents are on their way. We'll canvass the woods when we can.
Hell if I'm gonna sit here and wait for them. Not after what that monster did to Gant.
I wasn't planning on waiting. Every minute he gets further away. Are you okay to keep going?
My head hurts, but nothing I can't deal with.
He's on foot and he's injured. He was headed this way, so I hope he can catch up.
Thanks for the help, Agent Wright. I'm so glad you're here. Well, I guess until the cavalry arrives, it's just the two of us.
Then let's get to work. Bashful grin still has parts of other humans on it. You sure you don't want to just with that, like, a moist towelette or something? We search the nearby road and woods, but we find no more signs of the Heartbreaker. Meanwhile, Jones is more injured than he's letting on, dragging his foot behind him.
At least I'm not dragging someone else's foot behind me.
It's just like dangling off the back of his boot like a loose bit of toilet paper. You got something on your on just a thing right down on your I start to wonder if he left the trail of blood himself. If so, are we even going in the right direction? I suggest that we return to my car and continue to search by the vehicle. Jones agrees, and we retrace our steps back to the crash. Suddenly, another flash of lightning distracts me for just a second. I see a dark shape on the edge of my vision and start to turn.
Erica, watch out.
I draw my gun and spin around again, but I'm not the one our attacker goes for. No, he's smarter than that. He goes after the injured one. He rushes from the woods so fast I barely have time to face him before he tackles Jones and pulls him to his feet. He's wearing his prison garb, but his hands and feet are free. He holds up a sharp piece of glass and presses it into Jones's neck. August Flynn, drop the weapon now or I'll shoot.
Don't be too hasty, Agent. If you fire a shot, my hand might slip.
I realize my own hands are shaking. I've never been in a hostage situation like this. I have expected August Flynn to be a raving madman. Instead, his gaze is icy and hollow, sending a chill down my spine. You have nowhere to go, Heartbreaker. Reinforcements are on the way.
Please don't call me that. August will do. As for your reinforcements, perhaps they'll meet the same sorry fate as our van on the way to Bataille.
What are you talking about? The bear? August prods Jones gently with the tip of the glass.
Do you really think it was a bear, Jones? I don't know. I didn't get a good look. Well, I did. As did the poor driver of that van. He knew what he'd seen, and if you ask me, he acted quite appropriately.
I feel anxious standing here talking rather than taking action, but in truth, it's useful to stall until reinforcements arrive. So what did you think you saw, August?
I don't think you'll believe me, and I wouldn't blame you, but I don't think that creature we encountered is documented in any science book. A priori, the only word to describe it is monster. Oh, come on!
Was it a bear? I doubted it, but I'm not inclined to believe August's far-fetched version of events either.
So you see, Agent, there are monsters nearby, much more dangerous than I.
August makes small steps, moving them both backwards. Not another step.
Truly, Agent, I would not advise trying to shoot me in these circumstances.
He keeps moving, but unfortunately, he's right. If I try to shoot him, I could easily shoot Jones instead, or August will use that shard of glass on Jones's throat. I quickly decide how much I like Jones. Sorry, Jones. I'm going through, not around. That's an awful thing to say. Why did I say that? My heart races. What can I do? I've always had good aim, but my hands don't feel steady.
Knees weak.
I have to do something. I can't just stand here. Oh, shit. Decision point. I feel like stalling is the right option.
Yeah, I feel like shooting is not going to go too well for us.
August liked that. August liked that. I'm not trying to impress you, buddy. No one has to get hurt here today. It can't be long before backup arrives. I was the closest agent, but there will be others. There's only one road into town, too, so if I can keep them close. I suppose this is where you make your demands.
My demands?
This is a hostage situation, isn't it? You don't really want to hurt Jones. You want something. You want a way to escape, I'm guessing.
If I'm being honest, I didn't really think about it. I'm playing the situation by ear. This wasn't some master plan of mine, you know.
Well, now's your chance to give it some thought. He tightens his grip on the shard of glass. I watch carefully, hoping he'll slip and cut himself, giving me a moment to act.
I suppose I should ask for your car keys. The van certainly isn't going anywhere, and I don't see any other way out of this town before your reinforcements arrive.
If I give you the keys, will you give me Jones?
Of course not. Then you will just shoot me.
I won't shoot you if you don't hurt him.
I'm not a fool.
Well, okay, I won't be contrarian. Then what's your plan? To take Jones with you?
Yes, and he can do the driving. Once we're far enough out of town, I'll let him go.
I'm not a fool either, August.
You arrested the wrong person. I'm not this heartbreaker. I'm not a killer.
You're sure acting like one.
I'm trying to survive.
He's talking. That's good. Maybe if I keep him occupied a little longer. Then tell me, what is your side of the story? Why were you arrested?
You're going to have to ask your colleagues that. Now, I think you're trying to stall, so...
I jolt, almost dropping my gun as an eerie wail splits my ears. The ground rumbles, lights flash in my eyes. What is happening? August and Jones are struggling again. The noise must have distracted August long enough for Jones to make a move. I rush towards them looking for an opening, and ram my fist into August's face. August staggers backwards. Jones breaks free, then recovers his own gun. A few breaths later, we both have August at gunpoint. August, meanwhile, stares at something else.
What the?
Oh, that's not good. That ain't natural. You're gonna want to get that checked out. You're gonna want to call a guy in for that one, I think.
I
shit.
see here we got a case of suddenly appearing Spires.
The loading screen. It's come to life. Something is rising out of the ground. More than one. Metallic structures wide enough to fit several people inside, and tall enough to... I don't even know how tall they are, because they seem to stretch into the sky. For a moment, I wonder if they will keep rising, but finally, they have stopped. I struggle to remember my purpose. I lift my gun and advance on August again. Get on your knees. His face pale, August complies. His gaze remains on the tower.
It's happening.
Don't worry about the loading screen right now, August. Worry about the gun. What is it that's happening? Do you have any idea where this tower came from? Jones seems to have forgotten about August completely. He approaches the tower, gaping.
There's some sort of mechanism on the left and right side, like a laser sensor.
I'm going to take a quick guess here and say don't. Whatever you're thinking, don't. just real quick. He keeps walking around, his hand passing over the sensor. Jones falls to the ground with a splash of blood.
Oh, fuck.
Like, not even surprised, just like, oh, fuck. His head is gone. Maybe I scream. I don't even know. I can't process what is happening anymore. Jones is dead. Something shot him. I don't know why. I don't know what. I don't know where it came from. Nothing makes sense anymore. Of their own accord, my feet move towards him. And then a hand yanks me back right before I step past the same sensors Jones did. August stands next to me, a cold smirk on his face.
It would be a shame for you to make the same mistake as your friend there. You seem more intelligent. Perhaps you're in shock. Please remember later that I just saved your life. We shouldn't walk past that tower, and I highly doubt your reinforcements will reach us.
He points to the side and behind us and in every direction. The silhouettes of multiple towers reach into the sky, forming a large ring around the town of Bataille.
I believe we're surrounded.
Well, that's fucked.
This is cool.
This is cool. You like I was a little hesitant at first, but no, I'm sold now. What is with the Eldritch Towers? I need to know the answer to this question, please.
I'm worried that I'm going to rapidly run out of EK Man voices, though.
I mean, you don't have to take every single other person to the game. You're welcome to try, but you don't have to. Crimson Spires. 6 months, 187 days. 6 months have passed since the day of the contingency, but it feels like a lifetime. We've lost all contact with the outside world. I still have no idea why the large towers appeared, or whether the rest of the world fares any better than we do. But the towers aren't the only thing that changed that day. I never saw the city hall in its original form, but it used to be a small, humble building. Exactly what you'd expect in a rural town. Now, it is a looming high-rise, marking the exact center point between all 36 spires. So it even cuts off like stuff like radio communication. That's interesting. No one knows what the new floors contain. No one can penetrate the building beyond the ground level. Phones don't work. Planes don't fly overhead. The only thing that enters is an automated train that brings food. We don't know where the train comes from, although the Bataille family seems to fund its operation. They refuse to comment.
I choose to believe that despite the city hall getting all fucked up, they like still go to work there, and like you still have to go there to like get your fishing license.
Right, except now it's like 26 floors up, and you're like, ugh.
But it's all on the ground floor. They can't penetrate the upper floors.
I see.
Everyone just like still working on the ground floor as normal. It's like, well, the rest of the buildings is some sort of eldritch atrocity. But like,
we got a job to do.
Like we got to keep the town going. So
it's interesting that there is still a train that moves in and out though. So it does seem to be like this is something planned, something that someone on the inside has a way to deal with.
Yeah.
So that is at least hopeful, right? If it was the kind of thing where it's just like some unknowable like abomination that cares not for human needs, right? Then you wouldn't have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
People tried to leave, of course. The police force even banded together and tried to disable the tower. They all died. I'm the only law enforcement agent remaining in town. So now I serve as Bataille's sheriff. Interesting. Yeah, because that all just like, oh, hey, our bangs have held up very well over like 6 months. That's impressive. Are you doing that cut yourself, Erica? Damn. Where'd you get the sheriff star?
I presumably off the sheriff. He didn't need it anymore.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
After trying to disable the tower. I'll just be taking this.
So
Yoink.
I'm getting a couple of like potential options here, some more likely than others. On the likely side, we have stuff like ancient conspiracy, right? Trying to somehow bring about the resurrection of some eldritch god.
Mm-hmm.
On the less likely conspiracy, we have like Monokuma killing game scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you falling on this?
Human farm. But for the vampires.
Oh, okay. But
The Bataille family are vampires. They set up the spires so nobody can get in or out, but they keep the train going through so that the people will have enough food so they can keep their captive people population going.
okay, so they okay.
So they can eat people.
Om nom nom. I guess we must go to work to serve man. Got him.
Really, this is like a Toho 6 scenario.
Oh, like an encroaching red mist thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But why didn't you just say so? I arrive at work and prepare some coffee. The noise wakes August, who sits up from his bed in the nearby cell. Wait, you still have a computer? Oh, right, that won't work on the out. Oh.
Good morning to you, Sheriff Wright.
Who let you dress like that? I ignore him and open a copy of the Bataille Beacon, fresh from the local press. August peers anxiously from the bars of his prison.
Is that a new edition?
That's not of your concern.
But you gave me one last month.
And you used it to scare Billy. I liked Billy. He used to bring me free linens from his mom's shop.
How did I scare him away?
You said he was the secret love child of a Russian spy born of a forbidden affair. And somehow you deduced this from a picture you saw of his family in the paper?
I might have gotten carried away with that story, but I must have hit upon some truth if I scared him away. Besides, all truth is absolutely relative. Unless it's relatively absolute.
I'm guessing that sounded better in your head. I'm not in the mood for useless platitudes this morning, August. I sip my coffee and continue to read the paper, flipping pages loud enough for him to notice. Whip. Whip.
You really won't give me a copy.
I answer by peering close at an article in the paper, as if I didn't hear him.
Can I at least get a latte?
No!
Worst.
You think latte is somehow lower on the list than newspaper?
Worst jail ever.
Oh, the bars are big enough. You could probably crawl out if you wanted to. August paces back and forth in his cell for a while until finally...
I just noticed you were late this morning.
I hate it when you notice things. No, I wasn't?
Yes, you were. By exactly 6 minutes.
How would you know that? You were asleep.
Actually, I wasn't. I couldn't sleep a wink last night.
Is something wrong with your cell?
Everything is wrong with my cell. No latte, no newspaper. But
I don't understand the look you're going for here. You're gonna have to...
But I couldn't sleep because something significant will happen soon. I'm sure of it.
Something significant.
That's right.
So you can see the future now. Is that it?
The future is as real as the present, Sheriff. We exist in eternity. Therefore...
Actually, I don't believe anything aside from the present exists.
I see. We have a presentist on our hands.
I told you, I'm not in the mood. What do you think will happen?
Well, I'm not sure of the details yet. It would help a lot if I could read the paper.
I sigh and shake my head. There you go, playing mind games again. I won't fall for it, August.
I'm quite serious, my friend. As serious as the day of the contingency 6 months ago.
When did we all decide to call it that, by the way? Was there like a meeting?
You don't remember the meeting.
Oh God. Despite myself, my heart skips a beat. I see the towers rising into the heavens as if it just happened 1 moment ago. I also remember the look of shock, but not confusion, on August's face as he said, "It's happening."
The foundation of truth has already shattered, as I knew that it would. The mansion of brick has disintegrated into sand. Now the sand must take a new shape. I am certain that this must happen, and I believe it will happen very soon.
Nothing you've said has made any sense.
That's because it shouldn't.
I will headbutt you. I am done listening to August's nonsense. I pick up the paper and resume trying to read it, but my mind wanders. There's nothing interesting in the Bataille beacon. I don't know what else I expected. Maybe I could find some actual work to do. Yo! Oh, yeah. The lack of reticle makes this a little weird, so I don't know if like I'm like successfully navigating over something I can interact with, you know?
Seems like it's pretty forgiving about that.
Yo, yeah, here we go. Hold on. Not sure why we keep these phones around. They don't work anymore. Suppose I maintain the small hope that one day someone will call through from the other side. It's a foolish hope to cling to. More than anything, these phones are just a sad reminder of the world we no longer have. Damn. Rad! Resistance against drugs. Rad.
Now that the town's been cut off from the outside, the town sheriff is going to have to grow weed for people to sell so that she can arrest people for it. Truly desperate times.
Let's see what else we got here. That is a
Map of something.
map of something. Wanted. Whoever that is. Alright. Lockers. There's the door. Okay. At least we have coffee, right? If we didn't have coffee, could you imagine? In August. Okay. I shouldn't leave just yet. Okay. Let's go chat. Hey there. How you doing?
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa! There he is.
Nope, there he is. I glance inside August's cell as if to ensure that everything is in order. But I'm feeling restless enough that I might as well talk to him while I'm here.
Past life. Huh.
Like before here?
Maybe.
I don't think it's like a... Well... Guess I've never asked you much about your life before the contingency. Other than kill people, what did you do?
Well, for starters, I didn't kill people. I taught them. I was a professor of philosophy at Washington University.
Well, that's right. I knew there was something about you that I hated from the first moment.
Worse than a murderer, a philosopher.
And how'd that degree work out for you, huh? That's right. I think I heard that in the news when they first arrested you. Did you find a philosophical reason to commit murder?
Please stop derailing me. I was a fantastic professor. My students adored me.
Yeah? Did they have shirts that fit you there?
No, those don't exist.
Okay, you're right. What else did you do? Any hobbies?
Oh, of course. I volunteered at the local dog shelter. I have a way with animals, you know. Once I coaxed a feral dog into the shelter without so much as a leash, even after all the shelter employees had tried catch poles and failed.
Why should I believe a word you say?
Because you can't prove me wrong. Besides, if your mind can perceive it, then the reality must exist. Otherwise, it cannot be perceived. What I'm saying is, without love, it cannot be seen.
Can we go one game? One game!
Absolutely not.
That's not very convincing.
I'm also a
Plus, I
great
don't believe you.
chef.
Everyone knows philosophers aren't hot. You're way too well put together to be a philosopher. If you were a real philosopher would come out here looking disheveled as fuck.
I'm also a great chef. I was a vegan for 5 years. Did you know that? You learn a lot of interesting ways to mix flavors eating vegan. Maybe I could cook for you sometime.
We are done talking about this.
How they doing?
So, how are you this morning?
Me? Oh, I'm doing splendidly. How kind of you to ask.
You said you didn't sleep last night.
True, that was unfortunate, but it was the good kind of restlessness. The way an innocent child feels the night before Christmas.
Where is this optimism coming from?
Oh, I could try to explain, but you'd probably keep giving me that blank stare of yours.
You're jailed indefinitely for the murder of 7 people for which you'll never get a proper trial. Meanwhile, you're also trapped in the small town of Bataille, indefinitely.
You're trapped in a prison far worse than mine, Sheriff Wright. The prison of your own mind. You fail to see the beauty of this entire situation.
We may never have contact with the outside world again, if it still even exists. How is that beautiful?
I'm so glad you asked.
On second thought, I regret everything.
You and I are witnessing a unique event in human, no, earthly, history. The myth of materialism has dissolved and a new reality is revealed to us. Monism dies and the complexities of pluralism reveal themselves. I cannot wait to see what truths rise to the surface. I believe that I am here in Bataille because it is at the center of this transformation. I believe I was drawn here to witness it all firsthand. The only way my situation could get any better is if I could walk out of this cell and study these metaphysical transformations more closely.
You actually are insane.
Disagree with me all you like, Erica, but never call me that again.
Well, he didn't dislike that. We didn't get an August disliked that prompt
Yeah?
or anything. Do we want to ask about his murders? I kind of want to know.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe if you finally confess your crimes as the Heartbreaker, I'll give you a book to read.
I'm not the fucking Heartbreaker.
Oh, I forgot. You don't like that nickname. Let me rephrase. You single-handedly murdered 7 people in cold blood and tore their hearts from their body. Am I wrong?
Of course you're wrong. Do my hands look like they belong to such a cold-blooded killer?
Yes!
Look at my extremely innocent, non-menacing pose. No. Why don't you feel them for yourself, Sheriff? You'll find they're soft, warm, and ever so gentle.
I'd be a fool to grant such a request to a prisoner.
Oh, but I'm not asking for me, Sheriff. I'm asking for your sake.
Has anyone told you that you are a lot? Just
daily.
There is a whole... I feel like dealing with you is like a full-time commitment here.
How long has it been since you touched someone? In a manner that wasn't aggressive, I mean.
Well, that was out of line.
I'm sure you've been lonely here in Bataille. You must spend more time with me than anyone else, and how about before that? Did you have friends that would embrace you, or a lover perhaps?
Stop it.
What's wrong? Do my questions make you uncomfortable? I wonder why.
Wipe that smirk off your face. Gah! Just so angry. Oh, hold on. We got a thing here. What's the prompt for this one? I sit down to read the paper again. Nothing else seems to require my attention. But I'm anxious now, gripping my coffee mug and squirming in my chair. For a few minutes, I give up and fling the paper across the room. Fucking hell! August stares at me in confusion. Even he is surprised by my outburst.
Is there something scandalous in the news?
There's nothing in the paper, as usual. Nothing but gossip, theories about the birds, a sale at the furniture store, and a new play being held at Bataille High School. It's all bullshit! I fling my coffee cup off my desk, and it smashes to pieces. A long silence follows my outburst. When I finally recover enough to look at August, I see a strange look in his eyes.
If you weren't going to drink that, you could have given it to me.
I will... Ah! How are you this frustrating? What are you...
Years of practice.
What are you looking at?
You're acting unusual. It's the first morning since you became sheriff that you arrived to work late. Certainly the first time I've ever seen you throw a tantrum. It's a side of you I've never seen before.
The edges of his lips curl up ever so slightly.
But I always suspected it was there.
Shut up. Stop looking at me. I recover the paper from the floor, then fling it into his cell. Here's your damn newspaper. He doesn't move toward it. He just keeps smiling his strange smile at me.
Never mind. I don't think I need it anymore.
I know that he's playing me again. He wants me to lash out, but I just can't stop. I storm up to his cell and lean close to the bars, baring my teeth. You're right, okay? I'm not myself. This fucking town is warping me. I don't understand anything anymore. There has to be a reason why we're trapped here. An explanation for the barricade. But every day passes without any clue to what's going on, and I don't even know where to look for answers. 6 months. 6 months without a single hint of contact from the outside world. And everyone who tries to leave gets an explosion in their skull. I had a good job. I had a good boss. I liked my coworkers. I loved working for the FBI, and I was on my way to a promotion. And now I spend my best days keeping a bunch of gun-toting farmers from blowing each other's heads off. And my worst days, which are most of them, I spend pacing around in this stale gray building with you as my only company. What did I do to deserve this? How on earth did I earn this punishment?
You're not being punished. No one is judging you.
Don't even start. One more word out of your mouth and I swear to God. Without thinking, I draw my gun and cock it at him. There's a flash of surprise in his eyes, but it fades quickly into amusement.
You'll what?
Am I really losing my mind? My arms lower, but my hands continue to clench my gun of their own accord. I can't take this anymore.
Maybe this is what I predicted would happen today. Maybe the transformation I sensed on the verge of completion was you, Erica Wright. Lift that weapon and aim it at me. Pull the trigger. See what happens. Go on.
I hesitate, my hands shaking around the weapon, halfway between the holster and August. This can't be happening. Any of it. I shouldn't be here. I can't really be trapped in Bataille forever. It's like I'm trapped in a nightmare. Each morning I think it'll be the day I wake up, but nothing happens.
Sheriff Wright! Sheriff Wright? Sheriff, please, are you...
I quickly holster my gun as I turn to face our visitor. I'm embarrassed that she might have seen me acting so foolishly, but she's too distracted to notice anything amiss.
You have to help me, Sheriff. My Jessica's missing. Please, I looked everywhere, but she's gone. Just gone.
Slow down, Miss Murdoch. Take a deep breath. I can see you're distraught, but I need you to tell me the facts. You're talking about Jessica Murdoch, your daughter, right? You believe she is missing?
Yes, but it's not just her. Gary Reed, her good-for-nothing boyfriend, he's gone too.
Please try not to panic. This is a small town, and 2 people are easier to find than 1. Once I know more about the situation, there's a very high chance we'll find them.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
Can you start by telling me when you last had contact with Jessica?
Last night, she told me she would spend the night with Gary. I was furious, but I already done what I can to save that girl from her sins. She'll have to find the Lord on her own terms, you know?
Well, that's quite recent. What happened when you looked for her this morning?
Gary's folks called me, asking where he was. I said I hadn't a damn clue. The Reed said Gary's room was cleared out, like he packed his things up and left. Then I checked Jessica's room, and it was the same way.
A tremor runs through her. She claps her hand to her mouth as if to hold back a torrent of sobs.
But that just can't be. That just can't be. Where on earth would they run off to?
I force a swallow down my throat. It's really hard because birds are big. The answer hangs silently in the air between us. I hear a short puff of breath, but it's not from Mrs. Murdoch. I turn to see August smirking softly from his cell. Ooh, that was very alliterative. Like that one. I glare daggers at him, but he knows the rules. If he interrupts me while I'm working, he'll lose one of his creature comforts. I'll need you to answer some general questions, both about Jessica and Gary, for me. Please do your best to answer, but if you don't know anything, tell me who might. I ask her a lot of the procedural questions required for a missing persons report. Physical description, medical condition, clothing, and so on. I believe what I told Mrs. Murdoch. The chances of finding Jessica and Gary, whether they're alive or dead, is very high. Uncomfortably high. This isn't the first time that this has happened. People give up. They can't take the town anymore, or maybe they think it'll be different for them. It never is. I found another body just past the perimeter. It's sad, but over the last few months, it is tragically commonplace. So why do I have this terrible feeling in my gut? This growing knot of anxiety, twisting and turning like the answer won't be as simple as I want. Is anything simple anymore? I hope I can find them alive. I hope they're just hiding. One way or another, though, they'll be found. Until then, I'll do my job to the best of my ability. Thank you for all that information. Now, just a few more questions. I guess we could just go down the line here. Start with the hobbies, right?
Yeah.
What did Jessica like to do in her free time?
Before or after the towers?
After would probably be more helpful.
Well, she led a rock band, sang Toho songs. I don't really know. She used to play basketball. She used to draw. Not so much anymore. She mostly spends time in her room, sometimes hanging out behind the dollar store with a couple other kids her age. I try to stay busy. I hope she does too.
Sounds like you've been spending less time with her since the contingency.
Not intentionally. It's just... she's been withdrawn. I suppose we all have. It's strange now that all we have is each other.
You also lost a lot of people in the first few weeks. Did you or Jessica lose anyone?
Our neighbor George Harper tried to leave on the second day. He worked at the Walmart up in St. Anne, and he thought since he couldn't call in, he had to make his shift. I tried to tell him not to go.
The blue truck out on Highway 8? She nods. How well did Jessica know him?
He babysat her a couple times when I had to work late. Other than that, we were neighbors. We knew him.
I suppose that makes sense.
He's gone now. The house is empty. Jessica's not there, if that's what you're thinking.
I wasn't.
Then George has nothing to do with any of this. Any other questions?
Other than Gary, who are some of Jessica's friends?
Most of them didn't live in Bataille. You know, the high school was out in Clarkville.
I know.
It's been very hard for her, you know?
What about in Bataille? Did she have anyone else she associated with in town?
Only Sarah. They were just acquaintances before. Jessica was a bit of a troublemaker. Nothing serious, you know, but Sarah was always so straight-laced. Now I guess they're best friends. Not much choice when you think about it. Most of the kids her age around here aren't as quick as Jessica or Sarah, if you know what I mean.
Were they at the top of their class?
At the high school? Nah, but they weren't bad. But now at the Bataille school?
I guess that's where Sarah is today.
Probably. I went over to her house. Her parents hadn't seen Jessica neither.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll talk to her. All right, let's ask about the relationship. Tell me about Jessica and Gary.
Gary's a dropout, a damn fool and a bad influence.
Isn't it good that Jessica's boyfriend was in Bataille? Can you imagine if...
Hardly have to imagine what that would be like. It's happened to Courtney and Jeremy and all sorts of other people. I guess you don't talk to them much.
Not unless they're getting into trouble.
Well, if you ask me, everything would have been a lot better if Gary had been on the other side of those towers when they appeared. Gary's a terrible influence, made Jessica stop going to church.
You hate him so much you want his head blown off?
Nah, right on the other side, maybe a mile north or something. Would have given Jessica a clean break.
Unless she tried to go and find him.
Don't even say such things.
It's what a few people did. I do know their names, and I know exactly where they are right now.
Stop it. What does that have to do with anything?
I think your disapproval of Jessica's relationship might have something to do with why she ran away. Have you considered that?
Of course I have. I don't need you to figure out why she left, just to find where she is. So do you have anything else?
Those are all the questions I have for now.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. This might seem unrelated, but Jessica was very obsessed with the Bataille family.
This might seem unrelated. It never is. It never is. The Batailles. Watch it be like the Bataille, like the Batailles.
Yeah.
And we're just like making it harder on ourselves for no reason.
Yes, the ones who founded this town? Right, you're not from here. Everyone respects the Batailles, old money. Built those lead mines from dirt and stone. But ever since the mines closed, the Batailles only come out for church. That's the only reason Jessica ever went to any services. Jessica would try to corner one of those poor Bataille children and pepper them with questions. What did they do with all their money? How did they spend their time locked up in that big mansion of theirs? She was so very rude. The Batailles never answered such questions, of course. They're too polite to answer such questions. They would steer the conversation back to our Savior, Lucius Christ.
You mean Jesus Christ? Something like anger and disappointment flashes over her face.
No, you must have me confused with the lost ones. I said it meant Lucius.
I hear her laugh and glaive over at August. He's grinning manically, almost rocking back and forth in excitement. I'm amazed that he resists talking because it's clear there is something he wants to say so badly it is killing him.
Anyway, Jessica still tried to find out more about the Batailles whenever she could, especially after the towers came. She said that if anyone could save us from this town, it was the Bataille family. I know that might be unrelated, but I felt I should mention it all the same.
Thank you. I'm glad you did. Now, you've given me a few leads. I'll follow up with the Reeds and Jessica's friend Sarah for more information. But first, I'll need to, My pause is too heavy. Miss Murdoch lowers her eyes with dread. I'll need to eliminate the first possibility. If Jessica tried to leave the town perimeter, we should be able to find evidence. I'll let you know as soon as I can whether I find anything. After Mrs. Murdoch leaves, I start to gather my things, but I can feel August's eyes on me all the while. I can already sense the words on his tongue preparing to come out. Not a word, August.
Not even if I know what happened to Jessica.
I gape at him.
She's dead, so is Gary. I'm about 95% certain of that, but it's not what you think. They didn't die at the perimeter.
I'll let the facts speak for themselves.
Jessica strikes me as a smart girl. She and Gary wouldn't just try to walk out like those dumb cops a few months ago. She would have had a plan.
You don't even know her. Unless she's paying you visits when I'm asleep, I'm fairly sure you've never even met her.
That doesn't matter. I heard enough from you and her mother. She had a plan. So she hopped on the train.
I'm guessing that's what it is. Like she was like, okay, what's the one thing that gets in and out of here unscathed, right?
She had a plan. She really thought she could leave, but her plan backfired, and I bet it had something to do with the Batailles.
Either that or she was trying to find out more about the Batailles and got killed investigating. Or like that was the other option there. Wait, how come they don't just set up on opposite sides of the barrier like 30 yards away and write stuff on a huge whiteboard at each other? Or like
What do you mean?
Or signal with lights at each other. Like you could communicate over the barrier if there was someone out there.
But there hasn't been.
You're right. I haven't even put that together. Like the strange thing is that like they haven't seen anyone outside the barrier because there's nothing that would stop them from approaching.
No planes, no nothing, no people.
Yeah, that is weird. Okay. Unfortunately for you, I don't care what you think. I head for the door.
Erica, wait. I can help you. Let me help you.
I stop and stare at him in shock. Let you help me? I don't understand. What exactly are you suggesting?
You know what? You're tired of being roommates, aren't you? Give me some freedom. Let me help you with your case.
Absolutely not. Ever.
I have a good sense for what's happening in this town, even from my cell. Remember how I predicted Mr. Peterson was having an affair?
That one was obvious, and you were absolutely wrong about Billy being a secret love child.
You can't prove that.
The answer is no. He gives me another one of his sly smiles.
I can tell you about Lucius.
What?
Wasn't that strange, Sheriff? Wasn't that a very bizarre thing to say? Lucius Christ. Did you ever hear that name before the contingency?
I don't pay much attention to religion.
Lucius Christ didn't exist before the contingency, but I can tell you more about him.
I hesitate. I almost want to ask him to explain, but I know what he's doing. He doesn't know anything. He's just trying to get in my head. He's done this before, usually about the contingency. You're lying.
Me? Never.
I won't let you out, August. No matter how many made-up stories you try to tell me.
You'll change your mind, Sheriff Wright.
God, just so mad at him I could kiss him. I mean... Being so infuriated, like, ah!
Why is the murderer I'm stuck with have to be so annoying and hot?
Oh no, he's hot. Okay, we're done talking to you, okay. I don't see anything else in here, so let's...
Time to inspect the perimeter.
Oh, good morning, Sheriff Wright. I almost bumped into you there.
Good morning, Mayor. Can I help you with something?
Oh, no, I'm just out of coffee. Would you mind if I,
Go ahead. Just don't give August a latte. Whatever you do.
All right, I will...
Son of a bitch.
You look like you're on a mission.
I just received a missing persons report. 2, in fact.
Missing persons, but,
I know. It's a small town. I'm sure I'll find them soon, alive or not.
Yeah, of course. Let's pray you find the former. You sure you don't want to stay a few more minutes? You could, fill me in while I pour my coffee.
I notice him glancing nervously into the police department. You'll be fine, Jeff. Stay away from the bars and August can't touch you.
I know he can't touch me, but that man says the damnedest things.
Welcome to my world, Mayor. I trust you can handle him long enough to pour your coffee. Irritated, I hurry past the mayor and continue outside.
So, does that mean this is the town hall? They are using the first floor of the town hall still?
If so, hilarious.
I really hope I called that, because that's fucking great, if true.
So, why are you supposed to not have a latte?
I don't have a bid for this.
I'm just trying to fill the loading screen.
You caught me off guard.
My first task is to investigate the most grim and most likely possibility. Jessica and Gary tried to leave Bataille and ended up like all the others. This means traveling the entire perimeter of the town and counting bodies. Since the night of the contingency, 73 people have attempted to leave Bataille. Every single one was cut down by the towers. I know all of them by now. Maybe I don't know all of their names, but I know all of their locations. I know where I found them. The sad truth is that there is no way to recover them. I know because people have tried, and they have joined the bodies they were trying to save. The towers do not care if you are trying to leave. One step too far and they end you, no matter your intentions.
You can't use just like a big, like a rake on a really long stick to
Or like
kind
a
of...
fishing line?
Yeah, just kind of pull them back over.
Yeah. And so the bodies remain. And every time someone goes missing, I have to count them. Soon the number will start to go down. I almost don't touch the bodies, but natural decay will make them impossible to spot from a safe distance. Fortunately, I only have to worry if the number goes up. I start where I always do, the largest group of dead. It's where the Bataille police and a few local veterans assaulted the tower near the northmost point of town. They thought they could destroy it. They thought they could bring it down with explosives, and when all their guns and rockets and dynamite couldn't scratch it, they tried to go around to the other side. A small memorial is here near the tower. The mayor and I dedicated it last month. The townspeople put flowers on the plaque occasionally. The flowers there are wilted today, dampened by the rain and beginning to decay. I don't see any new bodies. The count starts at 14. It takes me almost 2 hours to fully circle the town looking for two new corpses. I'm careful. I don't want to miss anything. Only 2 hours around. That is not big.
Yep.
That is, like, claustrophobically tiny.
Sure is.
For a population of, like, what was it, nearly 800 people? Right? Like, that's, oof.
I feel like you could fit 800 people.
Oh, you could, but without the way to go anywhere else?
Yep.
Like, just as a space to live, like that, yeah, but without being able to go anywhere else, woof, that's rough.
And also, you can't even really go near the perimeter, or else you're just going to be staring at this pile of dead bodies
Right.
all ringed around the edge of your town.
God.
So you all really got to stay indoors or congregate in the city center where you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's
In that
awful.
case, I guess going to church almost becomes like a nice little hobby that gets you away from
Yeah.
that shit.
I mean, praise Lucius, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Takes me almost 2 hours to fully circle the town looking for two new corpses. I'm careful. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to give their families false hope. As I return to the memorial, my count is still 73. I think I'm relieved, though it means my job is just beginning. Zoop. Screen transitions are still dope. So what's your opinion of August so far? What do you think of him?
August is great.
Really?
He sucks.
He's okay, yeah. He sucks. He's so full of himself.
Yeah,
I hate
love
him. But also he's great. But like I kind of don't want anything to happen to him because it means we lose our little shit kid.
Yeah. I bet he's not actually the murderer as well.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
definitely.
fucking insufferable that there's no way he'd be able to prove his innocence at trial. They'd ask him if he killed them, and he'd just be like, "Well, what do you think? Really, all truth is absolutely relative, or relatively absolute." Okay, straight to jail with you.
And that's why you never become a philosophy major, kids. Take it from us. We learned the hard way, all right? We've got 2 framed philosophy degrees. You don't need to turn out the same way we did. The Bataille School, formerly Renault Middle School, is the only school in the town. There aren't many students, only 148 by the last count. So that's like about a quarter of the population?
Yeah.
A little under a quarter? Yeah. Serves children from daycare all the way through high school. Surprised when people started up the school, wasn't sure how important it would be or how much the students could learn from the limited teaching pool. August even volunteered to teach as much as he hates children, but that was never going to happen.
I'm imagining he gets to teach classes but has to stay in a cage.
All
It's
right,
just like,
we're learning about physicalism today. And just pans over, there's a bunch of tiny 2-year-olds. Like, that.
yeah.
At the very least, the school serves as a place for the children and teenagers of Bataille to stay during the day. And that's where I expect to find Jessica's friend, Sarah Carpenter. The principal of the Bataille school, Terry Vincent, who also serves as an English teacher. She was a relatively new teacher at the junior high before the contingency. Even that little experience was enough to make her the most qualified person to run the school. The power had gone to her head. Oh, good! Gotta love tasting that little bit of power. Right? Finally, I can control the education of all of these young and annoying children. What do you think is on the curriculum?
A bunch of weird shit. Cryptozoology.
That would be fucked up, yeah. Oh, Principal Vincent. Hey, how you doing? Want me to take another one, or do you want?
I can be Principal Vincent.
All right. Princent, if you will.
Indeed.
Just making sure.
I see you're here to disrupt classes again, Sheriff. I hope you have a good reason.
Jessica Murdoch is missing. I'm sure you know that already.
I love the fucking generic success and think big posters in the background.
I love it!
That's so perfect. You mean to say that Miss Murdoch is skipping school? I'm glad you're looking for her, but she's not here.
What does that say? The only... Oh, I can't. We're not going to get it during this. I know that.
Then why are you here? Why aren't you looking for her? She needs to be in class. I'm glad you're finally taking up my suggestion to work on our delinquency problem, but...
Most students who skip school just stay home. Maybe they hang out behind the diner. You could go find them if you wanted. That's not what's happening here. No one can find Jessica or her boyfriend Gary.
Have you checked the perimeter?
Of course I've checked the fucking perimeter. Now I'm here to talk to Sarah Carpenter. She was one of Jessica's best friends, and she might have an idea of where she is.
Sarah's in class right now.
I know that, Terry.
Principal Vincent.
Princent.
In my school, I am Princent. Do you really believe that Sarah Carpenter can tell you enough to justify pulling her out of class?
I need to find Jessica, Principal Vincent. Princent.
Fine, I'll go get her.
Terry Vincent is gone for a few minutes and returns with Sarah, a preppy 17-year-old who is one of the few teens at Bataille I haven't arrested, at least once over the last few months. Oh, great, so we're not a chill cop.
Oh, it's my turn. I get to get arrested now.
God. Principal Vincent takes a seat behind her desk while Sarah sits down next to me. Do you mind?
Mind what?
I'd like a little privacy.
This is my office.
I might ask a question or two that Sarah doesn't want to answer in front of you.
All the more reason for me to stay.
No, not when the priority here is Jessica Murdoch. Do you want me to radio the mayor and get his opinion on this?
I'll be in the cafeteria if you need me.
I won't. And as soon as Mrs. Vincent is gone, Sarah has a question for me.
So, this is about Jess.
I'm sorry you had to hear that. Even more, I'm sorry that she's the one in charge of this place.
It's okay. She's a paper tiger.
Huh, that's a nice way to put it. Now, why do you think I'm asking around about Jessica?
The letters she's been sending to Julie and Bataille?
Okay, so good. I'm glad we're having this conversation now. Let's fill me in on this. That's not it, but you're going to have to tell me about that in a minute. So let's just, earmark that for now. Jessica is missing, Sarah.
Oh no, is she...
No, I checked. I always check. Always assume that I check. Is that something you think Jessica would do? Has she ever talked about stepping beyond the towers?
No, it's just when someone can't be found in Bataille, that usually means they tried to leave. And Jess definitely wanted to leave. God, she hated this town.
She did.
I mean, we all hate this town now, right? But she hated it even before, so she was miserable. I kept telling her that at least she had Gary. Have you seen our high school class?
I haven't.
Do you have any idea how limited my options are and how bad they all are? Sometimes I look around our classroom and I want to walk between the towers.
I think all of the boys at the school would be a bit young for me anyway.
Thank God, because I do not want any more competition.
You just... Never mind. That's not important. Where do you think Jess might be hiding?
I don't know. What makes you think she's hiding somewhere?
She ran away from home. She isn't on the perimeter. She must be somewhere in town.
Maybe she found a way out.
If she did, don't you think she'd tell you about it? Or else she'd come back and let us all know?
Miss Reynolds, our science teacher, says you sent dogs out of the town and they made it past the towers. You thought they might be able to tell us something about the outside world.
I had a theory on
Yeah?
that. The towers, like... Because it immediately just gets people's heads, right, whenever they move.
Yeah.
And the Batailles have been in charge of the town for a while. I think it's not actually like a biological thing. I think what might be happening is the Batailles have somehow managed to, like, chip everyone. And that if we tried to walk out, or if we had tried to walk out immediately after the towers went up, we would have been perfectly fine.
Why Jones, then?
Jones had been there for a little while, right?
He came in minutes before on the van.
Oh, he only came in minutes before. Okay, never mind. Well, there goes that theory.
She also said that none of them came back, even the old ones who've been here all their life. You think they'd be comfortable here? They wouldn't know any better. Of course they'd come back. They're trained animals. Even they knew how lucky they were to escape once.
Those weren't my experiments. The police tried it before they,
Any reason you didn't join them?
Wow!
I'm sorry, that was rude. But like But like full offense intended also?
No! Jesus Christ! Like, I don't... Like, God damn, Sarah. That is, like, the most icy thing I've heard in a long while.
I'm like 13, so I don't have a filter.
No, I just... That's not what... I'm still thinking about that. Just casually. Any reason you didn't join them? Fuck!
You want to know more about Jess?
Let's start with the letters.
Sure.
We'll go over everything, but... You said something about letters she was sending to Julian Bataille. You thought that might be why I'm here.
Yeah, well, of course. At first I thought she was totally into him. Like, into him. Which is gross, because sure, he's rich, but he's like almost 30, and also she has a boyfriend. Leave some for the rest of us. That wasn't it, though. The letters were all about the train.
You were right. You were right. The supply train.
Jess would wait for it every week. She thought if she could just see someone inside. Someone inside would mean that a person was leaving the town.
There's no one on the train. And the paper prints a whole page article about it.
Yeah, after Danny Richards.
Others would have tried, even after the towers claimed him. The train is automated.
Do you know that for sure, or did you just tell everyone that to prevent more Dannys?
I know it.
Have you asked the Batailles about it? Because I bet they're the ones who know for sure. Their private guards are the ones who unload it every week. Send the food to the dollar store, medicine to the nurse's place, and...
Any reason we still have money? Like, just real quick, is there any reason we're still using U.S. currency?
I mean, how else would you... I should think about that, huh?
Yeah, you know what? You seem like a good kid. Just ruminate on that for a little while. See where it leads you. I watched the train, too. Don't you think I know how the town is run? The train is automated.
Fine, but Jess had other ideas. She tried to confront Julian about it at church, but he acted like he had no idea what she was talking about. You know he does, so have you asked him about it?
I'm the one with questions here.
He doesn't talk to you either.
He doesn't get into trouble, so he doesn't have to.
Well, I figured he reported the threatening letters to you. Did I tell you they were threatening? Yeah, Jess didn't take well to being ignored.
Well, interesting to know. Maybe I finally have a reason to chat with him.
Ask him about the train, for Jess.
We'll see if it comes up. Let's hear about Gary. What was Jessica and Gary's relationship like?
They've been dating since freshman year. Broke up a few times along the way, but I bet that's never gonna happen again. Once you get past me, his options aren't too hot either. Which means he's missing too, isn't he?
Yes he is.
Oh, I bet they're just hiding away from Jess's mom. She does not like him.
And where do you think she might be doing that?
I'm not gonna narc on my friend, Sheriff.
Listen, kid, if you know something about Jessica's whereabouts and don't tell me, you'll be in trouble. Harboring or helping a runaway is punishable by law. There's a better way you could have just said that, like, we're legitimately concerned that she's missing.
Yeah.
Like I get the no narc bit, but there's also a moral argument to be made that, like, when there's a missing person, maybe you help the people trying to find them.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
So what? We don't have lawyers or judges anymore. What do I care about the law? In fact, I've been thinking about that money thing, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go march over and burn down City Hall.
Okay, so I like your initiative here. Maybe consider that building new buildings is hard right now. So don't literally burn down City Hall.
But figuratively is fine, though.
Figuratively, I have no problem
This has
with.
been an enlightening conversation. I'm learning so much, Erica.
Okay. I still uphold the law, and I'm the sheriff. So you should care about me.
Fine. In that case, I have no idea where Jessica and Gary go to make out. How about that? Is there anything else you want to know?
So, were you Jessica's best friend?
I guess so, but that's so corny, you know? We hung out a lot. Less when she was with Gary, but that's fine. Sometimes I need time alone.
If she's hiding somewhere, you think she would contact you?
Eventually, yeah, she'd probably get bored. And if she escaped...
It's not possible.
Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Even those dogs never came back.
How do you think she'd contact you?
Maybe by sending a letter, so I probably won't get it for another week. Postal service sucks now.
How is that? How can you walk around the entire town in 2 hours and then still have a hard time?
I mean, how many people are left working post?
Yeah, but like... all right. It's because we only have one postman, and he was retired. But all that considered, Fred does a good job. He stood up when he was needed, like me.
Maybe he picks up your letters and delivers them, but he spends most of his time drinking in his office. Can't remember the last time he delivered something here.
I'll still check with him, see if he has anything intended for you.
Any other questions?
Well, that's all I have for now.
If Jess got out, you won't go bringing her back, will you?
What do you mean?
That would be so cruel.
Look, Jessica didn't escape Bataille. No one can. I'm going to find her, and you both are going to get in a lot of trouble if you're hiding anything from me. Also, can we stop orbiting the desk while we have this conversation? It's starting to give me a headache.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little seasick.
We catch up with Sarah later, and she's like, "So yeah, I've been reading up and thinking about what you were telling me." Oh God, do not let her near August. You know what I'm surprised at so far?
What?
It's an Otome game, right? And we've only had one hot optionable dude right now. So we're still in the very beginnings here. You always gotta have your array of hot dudes.
I'm alarmed by the fact that in the first 5 minutes we got an August liked that, but we haven't got any so-and-so liked that since then.
Yeah, we did get one more when we were talking to him.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, we did get one more when we were talking. When we asked about what his life was before, we got
Okay.
he liked that, yeah. Next, I make my way to the house of Gary Reed's family. Vernon Reed, it's Sheriff Wright. Do you have a few minutes to talk?
Is this about Gary? I've been asking all around town. No idea where that boy's gone to, if that's what you want to know.
I surveyed the perimeter. I didn't see him out there, if that makes you feel better.
I knew he wouldn't do something that dumb, even if that Jessica was trying to talk him into it. He saw what happened to the police force. He was there when they tried to blow up that tower. After that, any thoughts of leaving just slipped right out of his mind.
And Jessica? You think she was trying to talk him into something?
That girl always had ideas. You know, she was obsessed with that train. You know that it's no way out of the town. Dana found that out the hard way.
You don't seem very worried about Gary.
Like you said, you didn't see him on the perimeter. He'll turn up eventually. This ain't anything new for him, really.
Okay, that's a new context. He runs away a lot, does he?
Ever since his mom left, just a couple months before those towers went up.
So she wasn't in Bataille when the contingency happened?
Nope. She's the lucky one, or maybe I am. Who the hell knows what's happening out there? Probably nothing. Say, I got a question for you, actually. When did we start calling it the contingency?
I know! I've been asking about that. August said there was a meeting? Do you remember a meeting? I actually don't know.
And what does it mean? Who started it?
That's a really good question.
It's like we all just woke up one day and had that name for it. But where did it come from? Who started it?
I think I heard the mayor say it. I really don't have a better answer for you.
Just strange, that's all. Seems like more of a mystery than where my boy ran off to.
You are taking this in stride, which is... Well, I guess his thing is like, oh yeah, he sometimes, runs away and needs space for a while, so him being gone for, like, less than a day so far is not super out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Reed, I get that you're not concerned, but Jessica's mother is, so I'd really like some help in figuring this out.
Did you try my granddad's cabin?
No, where's that?
Not far from the smelter. Still in the perimeter, of course. Not much to do out there, though, since you can't go much into the woods from there. I kinda let the place fall apart. Turned out to be okay. But the kid knows about it, and he's stowed out there to drink beer a couple times.
Thanks, I'll check around there.
Good, but be careful in that cabin.
What do you mean? Is it falling apart literally?
No, it's just, it's very close to the perimeter itself. There's a tower looming just an acre away from the place.
I see. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. You have a good day now.
Well, thanks, Verdon. That was super helpful of you. Even if he's weirdly non-concerned. I mean, I guess I guess where he's coming from, right? He's like, yeah, he's a teenager or something. Sometimes he does this.
Mm-hmm.
And he did give an interesting second option. And given that the people in the town do know that, like, someone had tried and failed to get out on the train. And from the way they describe it, it wasn't failed because someone stopped him. It failed because something about the perimeter stopped them.
Yep.
You think Jessica would be smart enough to not do that. When I returned to the office, I'm surprised to see two new visitors, a man and a woman. They're both clean-cut, good-looking, and elegantly dressed. Oh, my! The woman glances at me, her gaze fierce enough to swallow me whole. What is it with birds today? Then she turns her attention to her previous companion. August? Yeah, she seems to be deep in conversation with August. And as she speaks to him, the same cold eyes that swept over me become warm and glistening. She smiles and twirls her hair on one finger.
It's Julian.
It's Julian. Do we know who Julian is?
Yeah, Julian Bataille.
Oh, right.
Sheriff Wright.
gentleman
Not going
starts
for something like this.
No, that's August, right?
August sounds more like so.
My name is Julian Bataille. I'm here with my sister Charlotte. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Hello, Charlotte.
Got him. Even though he says it's a pleasure, he sounds rather bored. I offer my hand. Special Agent, sorry. Sheriff Erica Wright.
His suit is red to cover
my.
up the blood. It's electric, silent, so he can kill without a sound.
What's that? Pop Team Epic?
Absolutely.
Wow. As he shakes my hand, I feel warmth spread from his touch. I can't explain it, but it's almost electrifying. Against my wishes, I can feel myself blushing. The pleasure's all mine.
Yes, good. Well, I'm sorry to barge in like this, but after we heard about what happened to Jessica, we were, very worried.
Oh, they're the Vamps family! Like, I mean, that's what we guessed. But
Yeah, like the rich folks with the mansion in town, and
Are
the weird fashion sense. Obviously,
they're the vampires.
obviously vampires.
Yep. Nearby, his sister Charlotte bursts into laughter. Can it really be? She and August leaning close to each other, their faces flushed, and they're both laughing? Julian clears his throat.
We realize you're a bit, short-staffed around here. You're also operating on a low budget. So we'd like to offer our assistance.
Assistance?
Yes, we can provide funds for any equipment you might need.
Funds won't accomplish much these days. People just want to trade. Oh, so there's your answer. Okay. So the answer is, like, I guess dollar store being what it is, like.
Just what it's called, still.
Right. Some people are still using money out of force of habit, but it's like, yeah. Suspect it won't be long before we have to make a new form of currency around here.
A fair point, although I wouldn't dismiss the power of the dollar just yet, Sheriff. In any case, we can provide the equipment itself. Acquiring it might take a little longer than money.
I appreciate that, but,
Why are we helping out? Well, it's rare that someone goes missing around here. I'm sure you want to find her as soon as possible.
No, I was going to ask, if you had the means, why didn't you offer the police like this sooner?
Well, this seemed like a special situation. Besides, after the last sheriff behaved so foolishly, I suppose we needed time to judge your character.
The last sheriff. Oh, before the towers. Got it. And why are you concerned about the one that was sending you threatening letters? Right?
Yeah, huh.
Yeah. Oh, and what have you judged?
Please, Sheriff Wright, I feel like you and I are getting off on the wrong foot.
His expression shifts to something much warmer, but also slightly wolfish. He reaches out slowly and puts a hand on my shoulder. His finger brushes my neck, slightly. I didn't think I wanted him to touch me, but once he does, I feel myself grow weak in the knees.
We just want to help.
I find it hard to avert my eyes from his. I feel like I could get lost in them. They feel hot and cold at the same time, like moving close to a fire while a blizzard swirls around me. No, this is just stupid hormones talking. Maybe August was right. I've been alone for too long. I blink rapidly, shrugging off his hand, and try to regain my senses. You keep saying we. Did you mean the whole Bataille family? How many of you live up in that big mansion of yours?
Well, there are only 3 members of our family here in town, but I primarily refer to Charlotte and myself. We make most of the executive decisions.
Executive decisions about what? How to dress hornily?
'Cause it's working.
That's not even a real adverb, and you know it.
Oh yeah, got a dictionary that proves me wrong, huh? That's right, you can't find one because I burned them all week 1. Executive decisions about what? The lead mines closed a long time ago. What exactly do you do?
Come to think of it, if they have a newspaper still, they must have a printing press in town.
Yeah, I assume the implication is that they are getting like some supplies as well on the food trains.
How are they getting electricity?
That's another good question. Like, because stuff like electricity and plumbing didn't just magically stop working.
Yeah.
I guess it could be conveniently that the town has its own well and maybe has a way to generate power, but I think the implication is just that, like, that stuff still is just working. Because remember, that, like, if it is what you think it is, and it's them, like, human farm, then they don't want the people inside of it to be so uncomfortable that they immediately start looking for escape rather than trying to make themselves comfortable in what they have right now.
Yeah, it's like the free-range humans, the tasty organic ones.
Exactly. Because if they made it, like, notably worse than, like, this much, then people would start being a little bit more active. But no, they've made it comfortable enough that people have just decided to settle in and wait it out.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, well, we still have estates to maintain.
There's so much I want to know about the Batailles, I don't even know where to start, but I doubt Julian will endure many questions. I feel like the train is the most important part here.
Yeah, the train seems to be the most directly related to
Yeah,
things.
I'm sure the choices branch off and matter in different ways, but the train is what I really want to know about right now. Julian liked asking about the train. Interesting. So he doesn't like being associated with the towers, I guess would be the implication. Can you tell me about the train that brings supplies to Bataille? Oh, hey, that rhymed.
It's not meant to. You're pronouncing the word wrong.
Which one?
Yes. What about the train?
It's the only vehicle capable of leaving the town and returning. Why is that?
I don't know.
But don't you oversee its operation?
I protect the train. I ensure a riot doesn't break out every time it arrives. What does this have to do with your missing persons?
Jessica was trying to learn more about the train. I believe she sent you letters about it.
Oh, did she? I don't think I received them. Listen, I can sympathize with your curiosity, but I don't have the answers you're looking for. Please focus on the matter at hand.
This is the matter at hand.
Meanwhile, your new assistant will join you tomorrow.
Okay, there are 2 people that could refer to, and I don't like either of those options. My new assistant?
Oh, did I forget to mention? Yes, we're also sending someone to help you with your investigation. Her name is Madeline Gray. I think you'll like her. Very smart, excellent combat training.
What about field experience?
Well, most people with that qualification are no longer available, as you may recall.
Is everyone gonna keep implying that I should have run into the tower? Like, that's... like, I get it, but that's still kind of fucked up, right?
Won't it be nice to have some backup?
I appreciate that, but I'd rather choose my own assistant.
We saved you the trouble. You have more important matters to worry about than interviews, and we refuse to take no for an answer.
His smile feels vaguely threatening, or maybe he just has exceptionally sharp teeth. Another ridiculous laugh splits the air as Charlotte finally breaks away from August, shaking her thick curls around her shoulder. Oh yeah, she needs that one. We finally get to do a legitimate Otome villainous laugh. I'm not gonna get to be Charlotte, so I wanted to get it in while I could.
Lucius Christ, that man is a riot. Why on earth do you leave a brain like that to rot in a cell, Erica?
It's Sheriff Erica. Sherika, if you will.
I will.
And he murdered 7 people.
Who hasn't these days?
That's...
Allegedly. He tells me he's an innocent man. Never
even in a population
convicted.
of 700, I'd hope most? Only because he never had a chance to go to trial.
Well, even if that's true, that was before the contingency. Now we're all imprisoned for life. Isn't that right, Julian?
I suppose, dear sister.
The world has changed. Humanity has changed. He deserves to start fresh.
He carved people's hearts out of their bodies.
Well, like I said, who hasn't these days?
She glances back at August with some surprise. He shrugs, and somehow this makes her laugh again.
You're going to set him free, Erica, and you'll do it now?
At first I think she's joking, and then she stops laughing and continues to stare at me pointedly.
I said now, please.
I just stare back at her in shock.
She probably needs to file some paperwork or something.
Shut your pretty mouth, Julian.
Her eyes still haven't left mine.
Do I need to repeat myself a third time?
I don't follow your orders, Miss Bataille. Only the mayor has the authority to make that command.
Is that so?
She leans closer to me. The little hairs all over my body pull at my skin like they're trying to escape. Julian reaches out and puts a hand on Charlotte's shoulder. His manner is soft and tender.
No need for that, Charlotte.
The fire dims from Charlotte's eyes. She draws back. I take a deep breath and realize I'd been holding it. My hand moves away from my gun.
Fine, I'll talk to the mayor. Maddie will bring you the paperwork first thing tomorrow morning.
Maddie?
Madeline Gray.
Thank you for all your hard work, Erica. Sherika. Best of
Thank
luck
you.
to you.
With a strange look on her face, she saunters from the building. Julian's Yes! Ah! Julian's expression is less sinister, but I still wouldn't describe it as warm.
It's a shame we don't see you more often, Sheriff Wright. May I call you Sherika as well?
I suppose, since you asked.
Good. I'd like to get to know you better anyway.
He draws close again.
Perhaps you could come to the church sometime. A lot of good townsfolk attend the church. You might glean some useful information. My family almost always attends. You could meet our brother, Liam.
I'll consider it.
I'm glad to hear that.
We could meet your niece-on, Liam.
He's so close now, it's almost like he's teasing a kiss, but my mood is far from romantic right now. I stare at his jacket to avoid those swirling eyes of his.
Ooh.
And then I notice a small dark stain. I seize this discovery as a means of disruption. You, spilled something on your jacket.
Oh, did I?
He moves back quickly, looks down and flinches. Fuck! He scrubs at it like he's trying to fling a hot coal from his skin, but it doesn't budge. I resist the urge to laugh. Looks like a deep stain.
I guess I was clumsy with my lunch today. It was, spaghetti sauce. You know, knees weak.
You should use a napkin next time. It's too obvious. Well, I guess they wouldn't give him the fangs in the portrait, right? If they wanted to hide it, they wouldn't have done that part, right?
Yeah, there's nothing hidden here. This is obviously vampires.
Yeah, they're not hiding it. Okay.
So, are they trying to, glamour Erica and compel her to do things, and it's not working on her? Is that why Charlotte is surprised that Erica didn't just immediately let him out?
I don't know if it's that or just that they're old money and they're used to getting their way.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, because either reading worked there, right? And
It would
did look-
explain why people have suddenly all these strange ideas about Lucius Christ and the contingency if they're just glamoring people into believing that at church or something.
Yeah, because when they keep saying the church, you've got a bunch of people, right? You need to keep them brainwashed. You got to get them in the same place once a week so that way you can get them all on the same page, right?
Yep.
Have a good night, Sheriff Wright.
As he leaves, I enjoy a feeling of smug satisfaction, and then I remember everything else. They want to set August free. I'm scared to look at him right now, but what choice do I have? Sure enough, he's leaning on the wall of his cell, smiling like a cat who just ate a mouse.
Interesting pair, those two. I think they're lovers.
They're brother and sister.
Some people get off on taboos.
I will headbutt you in the neck.
You keep offering, and yet you never follow through.
You are impossible. I'm sure you'd know. Steeling myself, I walk slowly to his cell. I rest my hand on my gun, quite pointedly. What did you say to her?
Nothing of consequence. I simply have a way with women when inspiration strikes.
If they really manage to let you out,
They will.
and you so much as lay a hair on the wrong side of the law,
I very much look forward to seeing what you'll do. In the meantime, I'd like to get some sleep if you don't mind. I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep at all last night, remember? And who knows where I'll be sleeping tomorrow. This cell has its issues, but at least there's peace and quiet.
Look at it! Look at his lip! You can't give me the puppy dog face. It's not gonna work. Feeling sick to my stomach, I'm suddenly eager to go home myself. Though I doubt I'll get any sleep.
Oh, and Sheriff.
What?
That stain on his jacket was definitely blood.
I know! I told you I read the blurb before I booted up the game. What a neat game this is so far.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad we decided to do this one.
I'm glad, yeah, because there were a bunch of games from the studio that we could have picked. And after going back, like, this is the one we want. Because I think part of it was we hadn't played an Otome game on the channel in a very long time, and people go back and forth on whether you count Hatoful Boyfriend. I do, but still, I can't wait to play more of this game, which we will do next time, and we'll find out whoever Stacy is.
Yeah.
Next time. Thank you again to all the people who support us on Patreon. It's your support that helps us do this thing that we do month after month and keeps our channel getting bigger and better. We love to give a special shout out to the people in our I'm Jacked In tier, including Alice,
Alyssa Clarkson,
Chaplin,
Mosca Blanca,
Reyna,
Snowflurry,
The Fighting Doll.
Wheel Baron. I thought there was going to be another.
It helped. The fact that y'all support us month after month means the world to us, especially in these times, and we really appreciate what you do. And that all of the money we make from our Patreon goes back into stuff for the channel, stuff like equipment, purchasing games, and stuff like that. And like they're the reason we've been able to get an improved sound setup and recording equipment and stuff, and we appreciate that. If you do decide to support us on Patreon, you get access to a couple of exclusive episodes. You get to see the Patreon potpourri a month before it goes live on the main channel, which is our monthly variety. Like, we don't have anywhere else to put it, so let's do this episode. They also get to see our entirely Patreon exclusive Let's Play of Ace Attorney, which is currently just finished with Case 2-3 and about to hit Case 2-4 of the original trilogy. So, if you want to see all of that, that's our thank you to our supporters. And thank you for watching this all the way through the end. It means a lot to us. Give yourself a high five.
Give me a high
five. A crisp
five.
one. Okay.
Thank you.
You got to remove the hand away after the. Why are you? No, now it's sweaty. Now they're touching for way too long here. I don't want any part of this.
That's that, like, comment and subscribe.